Had to wait 8, hold his nerve when it really mattered. For Rhys, well, as has been discussed, he's rather fallen out of love with the game. And he's only entered 3 tournaments this season before this one.
Yeah, to play in. He wasn't given off, I don't think, from what I understand.
First blood to...
Day to have got through that. I guess there's 2 ways of looking at the way the calendar is. Around so quickly, the UK came around quickly, and he lost in it, but then, of course, this way your best.
12.
Played last season, not just the titles he won, but a semi-final appearance at the UK just over 12 months ago. 2-1 up at the moment.
Please, 28.
Well, choice. He could easily get into them and spread them. Wow, that is a tremendously well struck instead of the middle.
34.
Days can offer pretty decent rewards.
40. 56.
Just the black then, set. Rhys may have fallen out of love with the game, but as Day himself mentioned, his first frame.
71.
Yes, it's the perfect start to a match. And that's beautiful.
86. 94.
Century number. And 350 for his career.
Yes, of course, he's become a tournament winner in the last year or so.
He did it in style as well to break his duck at Joe Perry and Stephen Maguire in the title match.
115.
He had resulted in a runners-up spot in ranking finals, so it was a real one on the mantelpiece.
120.
A ranking event, just a good player, period. And what a clearance that was. So frame 2 needs a good break-off. If the first frame is anything to go by, because Ryan Day looks out over on table 3. Mafflin leading 1-0. Then and now, things haven't passed. And lose
Fully. Well.
This season, if indeed he does intend to quit playing in the very near future, and he's only playing here because it's his local, any rustiness in his game.
Well, he had on his next shot as well. Reds are out in the open if he wants to play on one.
26.
See.
$34.
Timing is absolutely superb. He gets a lot of...
$42.
Yeah, that's when he's playing. He actually played to drag it through. And
48.
also... to go at yet. He actually missed one at the start, but Ryan is one.
Six.
Beautiful. Safe. So he's a player that oozes class.
Another player who you've got. Took him until he was 30. No reason at the age of 38 why his best years shouldn't still be ahead of him. As we know, a lot of players. 40s.
$94.
Oh, what a shame. It was immaculate, nearly a second consecutive century. Missed the black on 94, but he's missed just one pot in 66 attempts, and Rhys Clark. But that'll make him feel better. A good long red.
Red knocked in. Oh goodness, it's a safety shot that he's played quite attackingly. It's going to go. Can't stop him scoring at the moment. The one thing he can't do is... It's a good
Right,
shot, that is. It's actually... Well, he's taken the option. It's, wow, that looked a very, very difficult red to...
One.
And if he was playing at his best, he would make a few.
6. $12.
That was in the China Championship, 5-4. So as many wins in those three events as he managed.
Well, that's a tremendous red to be able to see, and then...
But unfortunately,
Goodness me. Oh, very good.
16.
Needs 3 more reds with high-value colours
24.
to make... He could still lose it.
just a hint of what he was able to produce at times in that first year as a pro. That only one of those came last season and none this. It shows that He did have some successful cut on the red and then a short range one missed. Oh, nothing wrong with that pot.
Don't know if he's been pulling the wool over our eyes and saying that he...
6.
After two very one-sided frames. This might be the... really nicely. 4, of course, to go through. The winner plays either Kurt Mafflin or Anthony Hamilton, who's just moved 2-1 in front. Ollie Lyons takes on Kyron Wilson.
Nine.
Almost perfect. Just one.
Yes, just over did that, but he... by playing up red from this black. Well, as the frame's over anyway.
He does his damage quickly, doesn't he, when he's in full flow.
Because as Philip said, snooker's needed, which now that is on its way to the pocket, I'm afraid, Rhys Clark.
Four frames with 4 big breaks. Century. He breaks centuries. Brilliant clearance of 133 to start, and since then breaks of 94, and it has to go back.
You can probably put him back somewhere where he was. Necessarily completely in practice, only played in some fallen short twice. Somehow get out of there and get onto a colour. That's well played. Players like Ryan Day a chance. Beaten early and surprisingly in the UK by Joe. You cast your mind back to 12 months ago with Neil Robert.
7.
Out of the way. Needs top side position on the blue though.
Yes.
Yes, and you know this has picked up some work. Doesn't involve playing snooker. Some ability, as clearly Rhys has.
It's to be hoped that that might happen to Rhys Clark because he can play clearly.
In it still. Unlucky, played the cannon. It was the reason he hit it so hard is it was quite straight. He had to. Right. Yeah, well played. By the position of the green. It is the. So you do wonder whether that blue being all.
Foul. Rhys.
Chance to win the match. It means you can just roll the blue in if he's right behind it. If it was essential to get from blue to pink, it.
But
Gets to it. Can he get to pink from here?
yeah, well cued. Well played.
18.
Ryan Day must hanging on in there. Day leading 3-2, and he'll feel, I'm sure, as though he should have wrapped things up there. These tables, Rhys Clark potting blue, pink and black to keep the match alive. Pretty good one by the looks of things. Well, greener, of course, to accommodate the flat draw of 128.
40.
Side I think would help. Played that quite well. That's a good shot. That's.
I think we've all.
But at 2-0, and all of a sudden, you know, we could go 3-3 here. So you never know.
47.
With a very relaxed attitude. And he's taken these very well too. Yet you might have to win a one-frame shootout to go through. Well, Day will surely play on. It's only the...
Up yet.
Goodness me.
I'm not sure how we've...
You just never know in this sport when Ryan Day was clearing. But credit to Rhys Clark. He may feel somewhat ambivalent about, and then 3-1 with another 90-plus break. But Rhys Clark, by hook or by crook, has got himself to a final. But that's not a good one.
One.
The exit at the Barbican last week. And clearly queuing very well.
Well, high value colours are not easy to get on here without playing a cannon.
But he still had a pot. First in the decider.
Well, this has got to go, isn't it? Oh.
Foul.
Well, goodness.
He's actually got a handy lead here, you know, in the game. And that's what Rhys Clark will be doing if he comes back to the table.
8.
Available. Yes, that was tough playing it at pace. Well, he's opened things up there. Oh, he's got it. What a good shot that is.
Impressive.
Nine. 16.
But it didn't stay over the pocket. It went in, and very well. There's a left-hander. He's happy enough to play on that.
Another good pot, right in the heart of the...
but it makes the pot missable. Right, tremendous. Oh, to miss it though is...
Yeah, well played.
Eight.
And the Brown surely settles it. Looked a certainty to win in the early stages when he was knocking in those big breaks, century clearance and 290s. But a match that ultimately... the snookers. Two snookers still required, and now just Pinkham. Well, we've seen enough from Rhys today to suggest